我的10年青春奋斗梦。
My 10 years of youthful struggle and dreams are lost in an empty house in Huizhou. In the spring of 2015, I stood in the square of Shenzhen Luhu railway station, dragging my suitcase, looking at the city with its towering buildings and dragonflies flying freely. At that moment, I thought I would do my best to shine on the scorching land of Shenzhen. At that time, I thought life was like the Shenzhen subway line. As long as you were going in the right direction, you would eventually reach the station you wanted.
房子终于卖出去了。
The condo finally sold. It was listed for a year, and I lowered the price 12 times before it finally sold. When I first listed it, the price was quite high because I thought, how could anyone sell a condo at a loss these days? I figured I'd just not make a profit, right? I couldn't afford to lose money, so I listed it at the price I bought it for. But after 3 months, no one called to view the property, and there were no messages whatsoever. Then I started to panic.
然后我的心里啊，我就开始有点慌了。
The blogger said she lost $130,000 to finally sell her condo in Huizhou, but she wasn't happy at all. Huizhou City in Guangdong Province is adjacent to Shenzhen, especially the Dayao Bay and Huiyang areas, which are separated from eastern Shenzhen by only a single line, making commuting short and convenient. For many migrant workers in Shenzhen, Huizhou feels like an extension of Shenzhen's lifestyle, hence its nickname Shenzhen's backyard. At the border of Dayao Bay and Huidong County lies Huizhou's most densely populated area of seaview properties, including well-known developments like Country Gardens 10 Mile Silver Beach and China Resources Shaojing Bay. However, these once highly sought-after properties are now facing sales difficulties. Locals reveal that seaview apartments that used to cost $140,000 each are now almost half the price, or even lower. Even more embarrassingly, due to the high humidity by the sea, many buildings only 10 years old have blackened and molded their exteriors, appearing quite dilapidated.
惠州买了55年的房子。
I bought a condo in Huizhou 5 years ago. How much money have I lost in total? Today, I looked at the price per square meter. The same complex with high-end finishes is only $700 per square meter. I bought it in Huizhou in 2020 when it was at its peak at $1,400 per square meter. The day after my son was born, I went to Huizhou to pay the deposit. I didn't think too much about it at the time. I just wanted to give my wife a home. Our combined salary was $5,800. We had only been married for a year and didn't have much savings, so we gritted our teeth and bought it. We bought a car, a condo, got married, and had a child at 27 through our own efforts. The bloggers said they bought a condo for $170,000, but now they can only sell it for $87,000, resulting in an $83,000 loss. Adding the $30,000 mortgage interest over 5 years, the total loss is $113,000, equivalent to working for nothing for 10 years.
刚从惠州海边房子回来。
Just returned from buying a beach condo in Huizhou. Going from a ghost town back to the bustling city center, I have some things to say. Huizhou beachfront properties have really plummeted. Back then, they were snapped up at $2,500 per square meter. Now you can pick one for $500. A condo bought for $140,000 is now worthless at $40,000. That's not just a 50% drop, it's a complete loss. The scenery is truly beautiful, but the pitfall is truly deep. Investors are devastated, and those buying for personal use are helpless. The blogger reminds those planning to buy beachfront properties in Huizhou, don't let momentary impulse cloud your judgment. The sea here is indeed beautiful and the air is fresh, but far too few people actually live here. At night, the entire coastline is pitch black, like a ghost town. There are so many properties that they can't be sold, and even renting them out is difficult. Occasionally, tenants appear, but they can't even rent them for $100 a month. Worse still, some projects have become rotten-tailed ones. 7 or 8 years have passed and they still haven't been completed. Even some villas worth millions of RMB are unfinished, halfway through construction. Buyers' money has been poured in, but it hasn't even made a splash. The houses along the entire coastline of Huizhou seem endless, with an explosive supply and pitifully low demand. It's no wonder prices are falling. What was once touted as Shenzhen's backyard garden and a retirement paradise has now become an unsellable asset, a veritable real estate.
惠州这个房价
If housing prices in Huizhou continue to fall like this, many families will truly collapse. Many families in Huizhou are already bankrupt. Their debts far exceed their available funds, resulting in severe insolvency. This is because they bought houses in Huizhou at high prices in the past few years. Have you noticed a frightening fact happening now? The number of second-hand listings in Huizhou is increasing. So are the number of foreclosed properties, which entail old houses priced at $40,000 and luxury homes worth millions of RMB.
也有几百万的豪宅。
The blogger says that many people's businesses or jobs have changed and they can no longer afford to pay their mortgages. Even if they sell their houses, it won't be enough to repay their bank loans. Many people online are mocking those who bought houses at high prices a few years ago, but the blogger says he can't laugh at all. He knew that most of those people weren't gamblers or property speculators. They were simply striving with all their might to buy a condo and have a home of their own. He sighed. What's wrong with that? Does buying a home really mean sacrificing a lifetime savings?
这就是我们在惠州
This is the lesson we learned from spending $140,000 in Huizhou. 2 years ago, my husband and I scraped together $44,000 for a down payment and bought this small 80 square meter condo. At the time, we were considering our eldest daughter was about to start elementary school and didn't want the children to keep moving around with us in rented apartments. Plus, my husband works in Huizhou, so we impulsively spent $140,000 on this fully finished condo. Adding to that, we also have a vacant apartment without finishes back in our hometown, which means we now face 2 high mortgages. My husband is the sole breadwinner and has to support 3 children, so the pressure is immense. The blogger lamented that those who didn't buy a house in recent years have really missed out. If they hadn't rushed into buying back then, they could have bought a 120 square meter condo now, but unfortunately, there's no going back. Fortunately, housing is a basic necessity, but you should be aware not to buy a house impulsively. I've lost $87,000 and I'm finally selling my home in Huizhou. My wife and I had a huge fight about it. I'm bleeding money now, but there's nothing I can do. The buyer will come to sign the contract in a few days. I bought the condo in Zhangkai, Huizhou in 2019 at $1,300 per square meter, a total of $150,000, a high price to get on board. Because I work in Shenzhen, which is relatively close, I wanted to live there myself later, but I didn't expect to catch the last train of the housing price crash. Now it's $580 per square meter, even cheaper than half price. It's impossible not to feel bad. My heart was bleeding when I agreed to this price.
为什么现在惠州很多房子
Why are so many properties in Huizhou suddenly unsellable? The reason is simple. Just look at the number of second-hand homes listed in Huizhou. There are already hundreds of thousands of units in inventory, and new ones are still being listed every day. Everyone knows the economy is bad now, which makes people uninterested in large items because they simply dare not spend. Now it's not just houses that are hard to sell, people are thinking twice before buying anything large. Recently, a BMW i3 could be bought for around 100,000 RMB, right? Car manufacturers are also trying to sell more at a lower price, and developers are doing the same. The blogger says that it's not surprising that houses are hard to sell now because ordinary people don't have the money. What people lack isn't the tens of thousands of dollars for a down payment. A family can always scrape together that. What they lack is confidence in the monthly mortgage payments over the next 20 or 30 years. Many people today have unstable jobs and fluctuating incomes, leaving them uncertain and hesitant to take on decades-long mortgages.
我们在惠州买的房子
We bought a property in Huizhou, haven't lived in it for a single day, and have already lost $70,000. Today, we received a call demanding payment of property management fees. We bought the condo at the end of 2019 and took possession at the beginning of 2021. Because our work and our child's schooling are in Shenzhen, it has never been finished and occupied. The property management fee is $430 per year, and we haven't lived there for a single day. The property management fees, however, must be paid on time. My in-laws previously suggested to do some basic finishes and rent it out, saying it was a waste to leave it unused. Last May Day holiday, we went to Huizhou to check out renovation rates. A simple renovation would cost at least $14,000. Our 90-plus square meter condo, if rented out, would only fetch a maximum of $200 per month, which is really not cost-effective, so the condo remains unfinished to this day. The blogger mentioned that she chatted with a friend who also bought a property in Huizhou a couple of days ago. His condo, which is renovated and rented out immediately, is over 20 square meters larger than hers, and the rent is $300 per month. The friend also advised the blogger that her unfinished condo could also be rented out with a price of $90. Many people would rent it as storage. Her husband is quite interested, thinking it would at least cover the property management fees. However, the blogger is hesitant to rent it out because they live in Shenzhen most of the time and rarely visit, so they have no idea what the tenants would use the condo for. Moreover, the rent is only $90. If something goes wrong, she feels it's not worth it. Who could have imagined that Huizhou's real estate market, once touted as a price haven near Shenzhen, would experience a 5-year-long continuous decline? From Daya Bay to Huiyang, from Zhangkai to the core of Huicheng, no area has escaped the price drop wave, and the former housing price myth has been completely shattered. Take Daya Bay, one of Huizhou's hottest areas, for example. Jinshui No. 1, known as a luxury residence in Daya Bay, reached a peak price of 3,600 per square meter. Now the price has been halved to 1,400. The luxury residence Zhuyufu is even more dramatic. Its peak price of $4,200 per square meter has fallen to only 1,400, almost a 30% discount. Even core areas have seen a price drop. The situation is dire. The price drops in more remote locations are even more dramatic, with prices falling back to 2015 levels.
花90多万在惠州买的。
A condo in Huizhou cost me $130,000. How much is it worth now? We bought a small 3-bedroom condo of 90 square meters in early 2020 when prices were high, and we're currently paying $500 in mortgage payments each month. A couple of days ago, I saw someone in the owners group saying they wanted to buy a condo and asking if anyone was selling. I casually asked, how much in our complex now? The answer was truly disheartening. Houses of the same type have already seen their prices drop by half. I roughly calculated that over the years we paid off $30,000 in mortgage principal and interest, which is equivalent to losing half of it. It's impossible not to feel the pain. After all, this property isn't just about money, it's about all our hard work over the years. The blogger said that she and her husband are both in their 30s and have been working hard in Shenzhen for over 10 years, juggling work and raising their child. It took them 6 years to have enough for a down payment. During those years, to save money, the three of them squeezed into her husband's company dormitory. The room was so cramped it was almost impossible to move around. They only had to rent a decent apartment when their child was about to start elementary school. Only they know how difficult it was. Without help from grandparents, they worked during the day and took care of their child at night. Every penny they saved was painstakingly earned. Now that the house price has dropped, it's truly bitter. But after talking with her husband, they've come to a realization. Since the home won't fetch a good price, they'll continue paying the mortgage and try to pay it off as soon as possible. The condo is ultimately their home. What matters more than the rise and fall of house prices is their family. The 10 neighborhoods in Huizhou with the most drastic price drops, see which ones you've heard of? The blogger says that Country Gardens Shili Yintan, the first to trend on national social media, saw its price drop from a peak of $2,700 per square meter to the current $580 per square meter, with many owners not even staying one day there. The second one, Jinshu No. 1, was once known as a luxury residence in Daya Bay, is just a short walk from Shenzhen. At its peak, it was $3,300 per square meter. Now, second-hand condos are $1,400 per square meter. The third one is Xinghe Dandi, a wealthy area in Huiyang. At its peak, the condos without finishes were $3,200 per square meter. Now they're $1,700 and they're all fully finished. There are currently over 3,800 second-hand condos listed in the complex, and the new ones are delivered to very nice standards. So, with so many supplies, who will buy all these second-hand condos? The blogger stated that any new residential complex in Huizhou that started selling after 2019 has seen price drops by more than 50%. The owners can probably only smile bitterly at such a price drop. This blogger, a real estate agent, said that one homeowner's property has seen its price drop 3 times in the past few days, and the homeowner is on the verge of a breakdown. This morning, I received a private message from a homeowner who bought property in Daya Bay early on. His property is in Xinli Dongyuan in the central area of Daya Bay. You know, how much did he pay per square meter when he bought it? $1,900 per square meter. For a 100-plus square meter condo, the total price reached $200,000. 2 years ago, he told me he wanted to put the property on the market. I checked the market at the time, and it could still sell for $120,000. The blogger said that this homeowner's condo could still sell for $120,000 in August or September of 2023. But he didn't sell then. 2 years later, this property owner contacted the blogger again, hoping for help selling his condo. The blogger checked the market situation and was shocked by the price. The current selling price was only $60,000, which translates to $430 per square meter, and the original price paid by the owner was $1,900 per square meter. He lamented that the decline in Huizhou's housing market was truly outrageous. Having worked in the local real estate industry for 11 years, he has never seen the market decline so drastically.
贵州的房子
Houses in Huizhou are really cheaper than in small 18th tier county towns now. Do you know how much a first-tier development like this near Shenzhen and close to Shenzhen Station costs? You won't believe it, it's only $430 per square meter. A large 3-bedroom condo of 70 to 80 square meters with a high percentage of free space costs only $44,000 in total and faces due south. Look at the building spacing here, hundreds of meters apart. It's 1 kilometer to Pingshan in Shenzhen and 4 kilometers to Shenzhen Station. The environment is excellent, a large community of dozens of buildings, not a small development, developed by a quality developer. Think about it, back then condos priced at $1,400 per square meter wouldn't have been of poor quality.
全款
These condos are only $17,000 cash, you can definitely afford them. The view from here is unobstructed oceanfront. There's a supermarket and a wet market downstairs, so you can buy groceries right away, even if you're retiring here. The garden is beautiful. This condo behind me is only $17,000 cash, not a down payment. Listen carefully, everyone can afford it. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.